Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 78th edition of Cinema Effect. That is a ridiculous number, is it not? I'm Zach, and I'm joined by DC's number one hater, Jaden.
G'day.
And PTA's number one fanboy, aka Fitzy, aka Liam.
Hi.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect right here, you know what I mean? The podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Redline, which opened in Japan on the 9th of October 2010. It was directed by Takeshi Koike. It's an anime sci-fi movie. What is the
Does
name?
Jaden know what it is?
No, I'm just cringing at.
Well, what do you reckon then, Fitzy? Koike. What would you do? Koike? Koike?
Yeah, I don't know. One attempt. I don't know. Koike.
Koike. Yeah. I should know. They literally say it in the movie. Remember that?
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's directed. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, at the start.
Yeah. And the synopsis says, a story about the most popular racing event in the galaxy, the Redline, and the various races who compete in it. Liam, you requested this movie, or you brought it to our attention. You know what I mean? You saw it on the Amazon Primes, apparently. Tell us about your experience with Redline.
I don't know. I mean, it was batshit, first of all. And the animation was cool. But I was pretty disengaged, weirdly, most of the time. I just think there wasn't much to connect with, but there's plenty to appreciate, I guess. I think I appreciate it, but don't like it as much.
Okay. I wanted to get myself out of the way in the middle, but I mean, Fitzy sort of sounds more in line with me than I thought he would. So, but you know, whatever. I'll go anyway. I look forward to hearing what you guys might have to say and leaning on you a bit for this because, you know, I think the movie's cool in a lot of ways. I'm glad it exists. I could totally see how it's going to be someone's jam. It wasn't for me at all. I certainly don't dislike it technically, but I just feel, you know, totally indifferent to the experience at the end of the day. I was bored, you know, and not bored in a what's the word? In a I don't know, impassioned way. I wasn't like emotionally bored, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, Jesus God, end me watching this movie. I was just bored. I was just totally the most, you know, without any connotation to the word. I just wasn't very engaged. And I don't know how much I've got to say, but there are things to talk about for sure, and we will talk about them. So I want to know how you felt about it, Jaden.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I was expecting a bit more like an animated Fast and Furious type thing. I was expecting a bit more, you know, grounded street racing. But I was pleasantly shocked. You know, it's pod racing the movie, and like I don't know. I can't believe your board comments. I had an incredibly great time. I thought I was gonna try and watch it in two parts because I started watching it late at night. So I thought I'd just like stop halfway and resume tomorrow the next day. But like it was just great, and I just kept on going. And it just, you know, kept me there. And it's really strange because like this kind of animation style I don't usually like, you know, with the thick lines and like kind of the silly colors. But I thought it looked great. You know, I mean the story is very basic. But you know, this wasn't meant to be plot-driven film. You know, this was meant to be an exhibition of, you know, techniques, and I thought it was really great.
Cool, awesome, an exhibition of art style and action and insanity, pretty much. You know, yeah, the art style was interesting. I don't think I've seen an anime like this. With the thick lines is what it was. I was sort of wondering how I would describe it, but that's exactly what it was. And the character designs. Is that up your alley, Fitzy? Because, I thought it was cool. I didn't dislike it. You know.
Not really. I thought it was okay. I mean, I think the racing scenes were really cool because you got this like really, you know, energetic like sense and feel, and I I actually like really liked Yellow Line more than Red Line, just because it was more grounded, I guess, and
Oh, sure.
just the whole opening sequence was really fun and kinetic and exciting. Um, but like yeah, as a whole, the animation doesn't really do much for me. Like the thick lines, as Jane was saying, it's not really something I want to see. But like it's put to good use in the actual like the fast scenes, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then, I mean, if you don't normally like the thick lines, Jaden, what? Just all bring it all down to the thick lines. That's all it is. But if you don't normally like, that's actually what the movie should be called, thick line. Um, if you don't normally like that, Jaden, then what made you dig it with it this time? You know.
I don't know. I think it's probably necessary. I think, and at first, I think it kind of fits with the overall tone of the film. I think it's more appropriate than kind of this kind of neater, kind of more succinct, kind of detailed drawn image. But like, I think the thick line's kind of needed, especially for the action scene and stuff, because when like the shit gets warped, and like when there's like a lot of visual clutter, the thick line helps to decrease that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, for me, it was like, I mean, it probably helped. It didn't really help much. You know what I mean? I just found the film to Fitzy's point. Redline was that sequence was nuts. Like it was just the lays. I mean, I thought Yellow Line was nuts too. The whole movie's every action set piece is insane. Like I just found it so it's impressive. I just found it so visually busy that I just sort of I found I didn't even really know where to look. You know what I mean? Especially when I was watching it on my TV. And I switched to a smaller screen. When I was watching it on my TV, I just couldn't like focus on the screen at all because there was just so much happening. And I don't know. I really struggled with that. I found it quite overwhelming. And then Redline was only more insane with when you're starting all the friggin' full scale warfare and friggin' lasers and shit. Like at least Yellow Line was a race, you know. Um, so no, I agree. I agree with Fitzy in that sense. But I mean, did you struggle to look at the film like I did, Fitzy? Or were you able to stare at it competently?
I don't think it's. No, I don't think it's too busy. Actually, maybe in Redline it gets a bit weird, but that's just because it is weird, But
Yeah, yeah, it
yeah, I
was
don't
weird.
know. Yeah.
I just found also there were like I like the aesthetic of the film. Like I like the different alien species and this cool like weird. It feels like a '90s Saturday morning cartoon universe that they sort of created, which I like. And like the robots and shit. But in the action set pieces specifically, maybe this is there are just so many close-ups. Like there are so many shots that are just of close-ups of anything, like close-ups of the racers' faces, in the cockpit. Do you call it a cockpit? They're like sort of half
Yeah,
spaceships, aren't they?
you
So
can.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Face close-ups on the racers, close-ups on like anything in the cockpit, like the different components, bloody close-ups on different components of the car at all different times. You know what I mean? I just found that there was so little like establishing shots and room for larger pulled back frames and stuff that I found that for me I was just often confused of who was winning and not, and the only way I could sort of tell was just based on like what the characters were yelling, in the
Mm,
you know what I mean? I
yeah.
just in terms there was very little shots in the film of actually taking a step back and looking at the race itself and looking at where the cars are in relation to each other. You know what I mean? It's all being communicated through shots of wheels and lightning going everywhere, and then cutting back to the other guy, and then them talking to each other. You know what I mean? It's insane in that way, and that's obviously a very deliberate directorial choice. But maybe because I haven't really seen anything like it, I found it just difficult to comprehend and get invested in and feel the tension. I guess is the main thing. I just couldn't really root for JP. I didn't really know where he was in relation to everyone else.
Yeah, well, I felt that way about Redline, but I thought Yellow Line did it well. Like, because I thought like in Yellow Line he's coming up on that person and the girl's ahead of him, and like I don't know. It gave a good sense of like where people were, and it was also just like it was just weirdly like more tense, even though Redline was like bigger in like every way, I guess. Like Redline became
Yeah.
like like Dragon Ball, just crazy.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or at least, yeah, what I understand Dragon Ball to be. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Redline was. I found the film visually busy at all times, but the Redline was like busy in every other way too, in terms of like literally what's going on, like all the different races and people, and there's the race, and there's also like intergalactic warfare. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
there's
but like
like all the
that's just
Robo
funny,
World
Alex.
generals.
Like, yeah, like the film is genuinely so funny, and I think like a lot of it arises from. I think quite a bit of it comes from that those like generals in like the war room, and like that line of like
Ah,
how dare they invade us using technology that's so like, theoretical, and and like I just think like, a lot of their back and forth is quite humorous, and like yeah, for an English dub, I don't know what it's like in Japanese, but like yeah, the dub was really funny, and like when the commentator was like, "I'm tweaking so much, my teeth are itching," fucking sent me. That was funny as it's like
I was going to ask about the voice acting. Did we? Oh yeah, because didn't we talk about this? The dub is the only option, right? There's no. Is that true? Not that I
on
looked.
Amazon, yeah.
It was the only way that we watched it. Okay, cool. Um, so you like the voice acting then, Jane? Because I must admit, like in my limited sample size, I thought this is honestly pretty good English voice acting in anime.
Yeah,
Just I don't know, just tonally. Like I feel like sometimes I don't know, anime tone just doesn't vibe with me often, but I felt like this worked. This sort of jived for what they were going for. Well, I feel like whatever I don't know how it works in the production process, but somehow it was correctly communicated to the English voice director what they were going for. I think. Did you like it, Fitzy? Did you like JP's uh, deep, soothing voice?
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. Um, it didn't feel awkward. Like it didn't feel. None of the voice acting felt like out of place. Like it was all as intense as the film, I guess.
I think it's because there's no cultural barrier. Like often, I don't know what your sample size is, but like I feel like often if you're like the animator, there's like some kind of there's a different way of speaking in terms of like sentence structure and like just terms of like phrasing the way they speak. But because this is just a racing movie in space, there's like no Japanese
Sure,
context beyond the style and like just kind of that. You're more free to write your own script, not your own
sure.
script, but you have to write what you need to.
No, I get you totally. It's not Weathering with You where we're, following melodrama in Tokyo, you know what I mean? Where
Mm.
that's like a very culturally specific thing, I suppose. Yeah, I get that. Um, have you, wait, I just need to ask, have you guys ever seen a movie like where there's VO for directed by, well, I'm not going to try and say his name again because I just thought that was weird and cool when the movie said that at the start.
Oh no, I've never seen that. Like the voiceover.
I just thought maybe is that like an anime thing?
No, I haven't seen it
I haven't
before.
seen that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, whoever thought to do that, I thought that's cool.
I feel it feels very like feels very like 1930s like radio play type thing, or like
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
totally. Um, and I mean that whole title sequence just went hard, you know. Like the red on on white was
Mm.
good. I like that. I made sure to pick that style for the thumbnail. I think it looks good. So I mean, this movie sort of comprised of you've got the opening sequence, the yellow line race. You've got the ending red line race, which goes for about half an hour and is insane. And then you've got just everything in the middle, with these character interactions that it's all very simple stuff, and I don't think it's bad necessarily, but I did struggle to connect with a lot of it. Um, just especially like what's in sushi. What's her name?
Astonishing.
Sonashi. I won't call her sushi again. I promise. Um, just like her relationship with JP was just kind of weird, you know. Like maybe that's I don't know if that's like a general anime romantic sort of vibe, like character interaction stuff, but it was just sort of I don't know. It
That
sort
was
of
the
came
best
out of
part of the
nowhere for me.
film. What are you talking about, mate?
Was it?
It was for me. I don't know. Like there was a
Yeah.
connection there. You know, they both loved racing.
And she's what got him into racing.
So that's what the whole deal with the flashbacks was, right? That's
Yeah,
all
but
that
she
was.
didn't realize it. But no,
So she didn't remember him. Okay, okay. Because when the flashback came up, okay, I was thinking because they sort of do it a few times where they cut to little glimpses of it, but then there's the proper like extended look at the flashback. I figured that would be a recurring thing that we sort of piece together more about their past or something, but that never happened. So I was sort of left confused by it. But I guess it communicated everything it meant to. It was just they literally they didn't remember each other, but he
there's a bit
Well,
of
remembered
he
trivia for
he
you.
he remembered her, but
but only in retrospect, right? Or did he know from the second
No, I
that
think
he
he
walked
knew
in there? Oh, okay.
because I think they make a quite clear point that she's what got him into racing in the way he kind of like just stares at her like when she crashes and like her determination. So I mean, I imagine he'd always remember.
Right. Okay. All
I
right.
mean, I like their interactions too are good. I think, like compared to the rest of the interaction of the film, is kind of I don't know. There's some good
Oh, yeah.
lines, I guess.
I like the scene where they first met in the restaurant. Well, not where they first met, but you know what I mean, where they first
Oh
met
yeah.
for us. Yeah. Um, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I don't know, like I was just sort of everything with this is where I don't know if you guys can fill in blanks for me, but everywhere when we go back to the conversations with like the mechanic alien and Frisbee or whatever his name is, you know, I was like, all right, I was definitely zoning out. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's meant to be a bit jargon, but like it's
BB, what? Sorry.
just a bit of racing jargon about this engine and whatever. And I don't think we're meant to pull into
Oh
saying because
yeah,
it's meant to be weird shit, but like
yeah. You know, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I did sort of appreciate they added the element of Frisbee was like JP's only supporter and like financially backed him. I mean, it's not they don't really expand upon it too much, but I sort of I like to see friends supporting each other. You know what I mean? He was willing to back him in the races. That's cool, even with those weird mafia people. Space. Tony Soprano. You know.
I'm so tired, by the way. I just want to say that. I
I can
haven't,
see it in your face. I can see it in your
I haven't
eyes.
slept. I haven't slept.
What?
So,
Since when?
mm, I didn't sleep last night, at least. So that's what coffee is for, though. You know.
Right. I'm the most dude. I've never once not slept a night in my life. You know, I
Neither.
feel like this is a foreign world to me. Did you appreciate the score, Jane? Even I must admit that I'd only noticed it really when like the action was hitting its climactic moments. I thought it bopped at times for sure.
Yeah. I thought it was quite good. I quite liked even like you mentioned like the title. Let's start. Already about how elite that was, but I think the music over that was pretty awesome too. Yeah, I don't know, pretty pretty top notch.
It was good. It was good. Did you like it, Fitzy? And did you? Second question: did you like that I used the word bopped just for you as well?
Oh yeah, the music was pretty good at times. Like I don't know, the action sequences. You know, they were the best parts, I guess. So the music, the direction. You know, the drawings. No, not the drawings. You know, the movement in the drawings, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the drawings. Yeah. Speaking of drawings, Fitzy, the only piece of interesting trivia
Yeah, out of 4.
out of the four. I love that you look and saw the exact same thing I did. It says that using over 100,000 handmade drawings and absolutely no CGI whatsoever, Redline spent 7 years in production before its final release. So You weren't wrong about the drawings. The drawings were good, and they were only drawings. There was nothing else. So,
The that's nuts. Like the no CG part is nuts because like for that bio weapon monster, like CG would have better process there, and even like like when they're creating the red line with those like ships and things, like that would have helped if that was CG, and like the fact that there was none, that's nuts.
I can't imagine working on this movie for 7 years. You know what I mean? Especially if you're the director. Like this is your baby for 7 years. That is a significant chunk of your entire life.
Like,
you know what I mean?
So they would have drawn like 24 frames per second, right?
I assume so.
So like,
is that about right?
Yeah, I mean like could you imagine like you do what, like a few frames a day, and like however many animators they had, just a few frames a day, and go home, go back tomorrow, another few frames.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, I don't know how many, like, what how large the core animation team was, but if you're like, I don't know, you're in this office and you're in there for 7 years, like doing that every day, it's, oh my god.
We got another piece of trivia for you since it wasn't there.
Oh.
It's not obvious. I mean, it is very obvious, rather. But Sonashi's last name is McLaren, she's named after the iconic British car manufacturer McLaren. And her car, I wouldn't say it resembles it, but I guess you can kind of see like kind of in the body, like a bit of shape in that car, I guess. But yeah, so there you go.
Thank you. I did not catch that. Did they actually say that her surname in the movie? They probably did. Yeah. They probably did in one of those like 80 news sequences where they like give exposition about each racer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they call it Cherry Boy Hunter Sonoshi McLaren.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and she had a problem with being called that. Yeah. See, I did pay attention, guys. I did. Oh yeah. So Andy wrote in a review for Redline. I should read it. You know, I probably should. I mean, I've brought it up now. Imagine if I just like said thanks, Andy, and just didn't read it.
Just cut it out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I can cut it out right here.
Go to the effort of reading it, but then just cut it out.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's good. Andy said, an adrenaline ride from start to finish. Undeniably, the animation was wildly crafted and visually enthralling, but mostly it felt like a rushed mess once you finished the film. Even though the film's intent wasn't to tell a deep narrative or anything, so many components seemed unbalanced from my perspective. Some of the side characters were not of interest to me, and the backstory of JP and Frisbee's reason to take part in Redline was too vague for the audience to care about. Okay.
Read it, Zach. Read it.
The tone and pacing was also the problem for me. There would be moments where I am fully engaged, but later on, there are also parts which made me feel very, very horny. Andy wrote this, which was very wrong but unsurprising for anime films. Andy then went on to write a few more sentences, which I will not, which I've censored. Not going to mention the positives too much because the superb animation speaks for itself anyways, and the characters are well designed. Redline was a fun experience for a person who hasn't seen too many anime films. 7 years in production. Was it worth the wait?
Don't worry, Andy. I'll read out the rest of it for you. Let me find it.
I'm doing it with this. You read everything. Everything. All the comments. Everything is sent.
I mean, I have gone against that many times, but I love how, I mean, he put it out there, right? You know what I mean? You put it out into the void for the purpose. It serves the purpose, you know?
Bravery right there.
So brave.
I want to say to Andy that I appreciate the review there. I appreciate the honesty.
I also appreciate the honesty.
I saw it. It's funny that he mentions that because I saw a review on Letterboxd where it's like complaining about like, the variants and like the male characters, but then like the female characters are all kind of cookie cutter, kind of stereotype, generic, good looking. But like there are ugly female characters. Like there's that cigarette vendor, and like there's just like, and like there are like other like just aliens littered throughout, just in like the main cast. I guess.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I wasn't even planning on. I mean, it stood out to me watching the film. I wasn't even going to bring this up. You know what I mean? Like any of the over sexualized stuff. I just don't like it at all. I don't enjoy it, and it's not coming from I think, did we talk about this with Weathering with you? I think it doesn't come from a perspective of like, oh, it's it's offensive to women or whatever. So I'm not being that guy. All right, I just genuinely don't enjoy it at all, and I just find it really cringeworthy. But I mean, that's like a trademark of this style. So I'm not like out here trying to change the world, change the genre. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that Andy decided to bring it up, nonetheless. He did a good job opening that can of worms, so we can make this review longer.
Yeah, not much to talk about, is there?
No, there really isn't. There really isn't. But that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I thought it might be a bit more like gratuitous. To be honest, I kind of didn't go there, but
This is the worst I've seen by far. So, like, I mean, I don't have much experience. Obviously, is this nothing? Is this like you've seen nothing yet, Zach?
You know that series I was talking about last week at the end of the show?
Yes.
Yeah, watch that then, and then tell
Okay.
me about this.
what was the show? Oh, this show I watched, Devilman Crybaby. That is like, this is nothing like compared to that. Like, that is just like the most. I thought the movie would go there, but it was kind of PG-ish, like kind of held back, I guess.
Honestly, it is like kind of like PG nudity, I guess, if you're talking about it in that sense. Like kind of like the 80s kind of PG, is what I mean.
Not just the nudity,
yeah, it's kind of PG.
The violence as well is kind of like I thought there'd be a lot more deaths, I guess, or just like, there's all this destruction at the end, but there's no real, no one's getting blasted away, or there's no like consequences in that way. But I just thought it would go ham, but it kind of just chilled,
What did you think of the other races? Were you interested in them at all? The policeman and the robot car and the bounty hunters and shit.
I really, honestly, don't really remember them. How could I forget the twins? You know what I mean? For reasons already discussed. I mean, the robot was alright.
They're like they give like an introductory scene for each person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought the twins was like a good one. It was memorable. It was good.
I mean, the thing is, like it's like it's part of their character, so like, I mean, like it's
like it's funny, that scene, I think. Like, it's definitely intended to be a bit humorous, I think, and like there are little moments in the movie I find funny. Other than that, like the vendor lady, just like falls asleep, and just, I don't know, random shit that sometimes just pops up. There's so much random stuff, but
yeah, I thought the that kind of relationship between one of the soldiers and the races. I think one of them was called Desina. I don't know if that was a soldier or if that was a race. I can't remember. Like, that was it was odd how much of that there was, I think, because like it felt like there was meant to be. If it kind of felt like a bit of an in between story where there should have been more to it or should have been less to it, because there's a part where like the soldier goes on to be like, I need to finish this race, but like we were never told earlier than that he wanted to be in the race. We were told that they left him, but so like, yeah, it felt a bit unfinished in that part, but a minor complaint.
Although I'll say the characters are pretty interesting, like design wise, but not the robots. I didn't like the robots, but like the participants, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you like those character designs.
And the dogs at the, like, whatever those things were at the start,
Oh, yeah, when they were on the Tatooine place.
Yeah, the Yellow Line, yeah.
I think that, because you said that the design was interesting, but I think the characters were interesting in general. Like in those news snippets we got, I think they gave it like a decent backstory, all of them.
I thought those were pretty like funny. Like, as I said, for the twins, like they were like pretty entertaining. Like, they're not like extremely deep or anything, but they're like, they're good, I think.
And there's nothing about the film that's deep, so
no, but yeah.
No. Yeah, absolutely. All right, it is time for final verdicts. Jaden, Redline out of 10.
Big fat 9.
Whoa!
Yeah, I had a great time.
Huge.
Like, genuinely great time watching this. I mean, like, there's not a lot to talk about. It is massively style over substance, but like, I think that works in the movie's case. It was never going for substance and doesn't need to. 9 out of 10.
Huge. Fitzy.
No, I think 7 out of 10. I think I did enjoy it enough, and style did win me over at points, and like in the middle it does get a bit boring just with like not much happening, and the robot stuff is boring, but like I appreciate a lot of things, and as I said, some things are pretty funny, got me by surprise, so yeah. And I like what's the word? Respect the dedication. Yeah.
To the craft. Yes. This is the easiest 5 I've given in my life. It's totally average, and I'll forget it next week. But it's all style, and if you like style, if you like anime style, then you're probably going to dig it. You know what I mean? So it's an objectively cool movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, again, appreciation of the craft. It's totally bonkers. It's like a fever dream. It's cool, you know? All right, well, transitioning perfectly, of course, from Redline right to legal matters, right? In news chat here, we've got a follow up to a huge news story that we covered, and we exclusively, of course, reported on here a few weeks ago, probably 2 months ago or something. Now I don't know how time works. Disney has settled with ScarJo. It is over, ladies and gentlemen. The conflict is over. And the terms of this settlement, unknown. Did it involve a large chunk of change? Almost certainly. So good for ScarJo. She has her money, and she said in her statement that she looks forward to collaborating with them again in the future. So this seems like a happy ending, sorta. I guess, I'm sure she's stoked.
Collaborating again? Nah, as if.
I don't know, man. I feel like she got what she wanted. I feel like she's happy. We'll see.
Would Disney let her
To be
back in
fair,
there?
I mean, I'm sure they will. It's all about she's a high performing box office star, I'm sure they'll love having her back.
Yeah, because they don't
It's
have
interesting,
48 of
though.
them.
That's true. They can get access to whoever they want. But I mean, that whole statement, to be fair, the statement from her team that included that in it was like the most PR bullshit statement ever. Like, so I don't know if we should hold to it for truth or anything, but it was said in there, so we'll see. Do you have any in-depth legal or interesting analysis of this, Fitzy, in your current state?
I mean, wasn't this gonna happen?
Oh yeah,
Wasn't this like 99% chance?
Woo! All right. Well, we needed to follow up on it because I feel like we talked about it substantially the other week.
Was it
Jaden
the
has
other week?
told me.
Was it 2 weeks ago, or was it a few months ago? Like, you gotta pick, mate.
Yeah, I definitely am not going to. I've got no idea. Was it a year ago? I don't know. Jaden instructed me prior to this podcast that some guy named Russell is back as the Doctor Who showrunner. Jaden,
Oh, yeah.
how exciting is this for you? Because I know nothing about any of this, but this sounds like if I were a Doctor Who fan, I'd be jazzed.
Oh, yeah. This is like, I think people can debate like if the Russell T Davies era or like the era that came after him. I can't remember his name. Mark Gadsby, something like that. I think people would debate which one was better, but I feel like Russell T Davies is clear in terms of like the variance in his stories. He really is just the best showrunner that the reboot has had, in my opinion. And the fact that they're bringing him back is massive. I think it's honestly probably the only thing that can save Doctor Who at this point. I think Chibnall drove to the ground, unfortunately. He did some great stuff in the past, but as showrunner, no. Yeah, so, he might cave, though, because, this is Doctor Who's last chance, I reckon, before BBC just turfs it. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be great. It should be great, hopefully. Because, Russell T Davies has gone on to do some really popular things, some really, well-regarded stuff, and, awarded stuff as well, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully you can bring that back to Doctor Who.
I have some questions. When was he in what years was he originally showrunner?
I'm not sure if he did 9, but I'd say I think he did. So probably 2005 to 2010, 11ish. I think.
Right, and is this season that he's returning for? Is this still the current Doctor, whatever her face is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think it has anything else.
All right, so he's gonna ride out to the sunset. Well, is her name Jodie something?
Whittaker. Yeah. The thing is, none of the casts are bad. It's just that the writing and direction has been awful. And, the thing is, series 13, was it 13? I don't know. Jodie's first series tried to do a thing where, they used, all original, villains or, just, enemies or whatever. And it just didn't work out. It was because, they just ended up with a lot of underwhelming shit. One of the villains for one of the arcs was just rags, sentient rags. And it was just...
Sentient, rags, as in rags I have in my cupboard.
Yeah. Obviously they were a bit more than that, but, in essence, that's what they were. They were, just cloths.
All right. Sure. Sure. That sounds wild. Okay. Cool. Well, if you want improved writing and direction, that stops with the showrunner, so that's the only thing that would conceivably change that. So I wish you luck. I wish you and all Doctor Who fans luck in your future seasons with this guy.
Cheers.
We got the first image, of course, of HBO's The Last of Us, and it is Pedro and old Bella Ramsey there. You know what I mean, in their starring roles. It looks cool. Did you get a chance to look at it, Fitzy? And did you like what you saw? I'll tell you what, it was certainly better than Uncharted. That's sort of the main comparison point, I think.
I thought it was a HD game still when I first saw it. Something there's
sure.
For it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty high compliment. You got the of course the completely game accurate attire that both characters are wearing. Pedro from behind looks spot on. You know what I mean? So that's good. Literally spot. I agree with you. That just looks like an asset of Joel, from behind. And but the other interesting thing, of course, to note is outside of just, oh look, guys, it's the actors wearing their clothes, cool. Is they're in the image, of course, looking at a crashed plane out there, and the vibe of the image, I feel like is cool. You sort of get the feel of the wilderness and stuff that I feel like is pretty spot on. In this very small glimpse, of course, but crashed plane, not a scene from the game in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I'm sure we knew this, but our first indication that they are indeed expanding the story and doing different things with it. So,
how many episodes is it going to be?
10, I believe. Yeah. So that's interesting. You assume the core story beats will sort of remain with it being expanded in different areas. I'm sure in the game there's a lot of time jumps, so we might fill in different spaces here and there with different events.
Is it going to end where the game ends, or do you reckon it's going to end earlier or later?
We don't know. It could end. I would be very surprised if it ends later. I don't think that would happen. I think we're either talking about whether the season covers the entirety of the first game or not.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, I'd say yes, just because that I think if I'm thinking about how I want to structure a season of TV if I were a writer of that show, I think if you want this show to be talked about and revered in the way that I think anyone making a Last of Us show would want it to be, I think
you end it with
you want your season finale to end like that. I think you want your season finale to end real strong like that, because where else would it end? It can end before winter in the first game. That's not super compelling, to be honest. That's a cliffhanger for sure, but I don't think it's the most compelling cliffhanger. I think that's a good episode cliffhanger, not a good season cliffhanger.
it's odd because like usually I'd want variance in like if you're telling the same story twice in different mediums, but like this is a case where like every chapter in the game is so high quality that like I don't want to lose any of it. Like if they cut out Billstown for a fucking crash plane, is it Billstown?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that though. We got news of them casting Bill, so they're not cutting Bills down.
Okay. Yeah, I just mean like any like kind of like pivotal chapter.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they're keeping Bill indicates to me that I don't think they would cut. Like, what other chapter would you cut? You know what I mean?
I hope they spend 3 hours in that basement with the bloater, like I did.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really accurate to the experience of the game. They spend 3 whole episodes in there. So yeah, man, I'm very curious about the show. I'm absolutely going to be there every week watching it, and I'm interested to see what they do. I just hope it's we talked about this many times. It's just one of those things where the story is so perfect. Like, what are you? I just hope they can pull it off. They've got all the ingredients, so it's sort of their ball to fumble. All right, there was a Book of Boba Fett poster with the release date finally confirmed for December 29th of this year, which is exciting. Jane, did you see the poster? And if so, tell me how fake it looked.
I saw the poster, but like I didn't pay any attention. I just scrolled right past it. It means nothing to me. I really don't.
Now, you had some choice words for Tem, for old mate Tamura Morrison. Do you want to expand?
No, don't.
Now that we're on the air? Oh,
No.
okay, no worries. That's fine. He's basically our cousin because he's Kiwi.
Exactly. Can't talk shit about your cousin.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm excited for the show by default. His arm is slightly different again for very people looking closely. And I don't want Fitzy, have you seen this poster? I need someone else to confirm that this poster looks terrible. Like, I really need this in my life, you know what I mean? Because this whole poster gives me major. Remember that Rise of Skywalker poster where Palpatine looked like CG and it was terrible? And I felt like, remember that? It does. It's not that bad, but it's not. It's sort of there. You know what I mean? It's not a live action photo of Tamura.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like digital art. It looks like a high quality render. Yeah,
which is weird though, right?
The chair definitely looks fake.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Boba could be just like highly touched up and stylized in Photoshop or something like that in Lightroom.
Yeah,
no, they both look fake. Yeah, no.
Jan, you've elevated my ego to new heights. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I'm excited for the show, so Fitzy, it's time to bring you off the bench here, bro. It's time for you to wake up, Jeff, and tell me about the Licorice Pizza trailer. This is PTA's new film. It's all you.
Boba Fett again.
Oh, do you have anything to say about Boba Fett?
I don't.
Go for it. PTA, what's going on?
Yeah, I accidentally watched a trailer again when it came out. I have this weird habit because I was like, I just saw on IMDb it said like Licorice Pizza, PTA. I was like, wow, 2 hours ago. Anyway, that was a good trailer. It looks like a very like coming of age film thing, in the 70s ish. So very Boogie Nights ish, I think, gave those qualities. So I'm kind of glad it's not another serious film. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be too, Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, obviously. Yes, Jaden?
My screen went black, and the soundbar's gone, so I don't know if you want to... Because in the past it's been safe, but like I don't know how you want to play it.
Your screen's black still?
No, like it just goes black for a second, but when it comes back, like the little sound wave thing goes. I just don't know like if that means it still records or not.
Your bar's still going here, so I'm gonna
just keep going.
I appreciate you bringing it up. I'm gonna keep going and pray to the Lord.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we'll do that. But Fitzy, what's up? Do you know anything about why is it called this? What's up with the title?
It was I think I was looking into it. It was like a record store around the area or something, and it's also a term for like melding different things or like something like that. But it's a record. It's a music term, I think. But
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, that's very exciting. I'm sure we will talk about that on the show in one way or another. It's time for our highlights of the week, of course. Jaden, what have you been watching this week?
I really shouldn't have been watching anything because I'm meant to be doing assignments. But right, I watched.
Cinema Calls to You.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I watched 2 TV series.
Whoa, 2.
Have we? Did you talk about Star Wars Visions last time?
No, please do. Please talk about it.
Should I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like they're all kind of like they're all good, but like that's all they are. You know, there's no bad, no great. They're all just good. You know, they're all very 6, 7-ish. Personally, yeah. I don't know. I think I haven't watched What If, but like I imagine the difference with like what would make these better for me. But like I can't even make that comparison without watching it. So I don't want to watch What If, so I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know. I liked all the stories. I thought all the stories were interesting. I think the fact that they all lent into anime and the fact that they are using existing IP, I think they melded well. I think there's definitely some more interesting stories. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about because you know they're all 13 odd minute shorts, 20 some in some cases. But like, I think the Elder is the strongest episode. I think I thought that was really good one. Toby one's probably the weakest one. Actually, that's a lie. No, is it? I don't know. Yeah, could be.
I want to talk about this with you more in depth, I think. I mean, the fact they didn't hate it indicates that I'm able to talk about it on the show. I said if I didn't like it, I wasn't going to talk about it because I didn't want to be negative, and I didn't hate it. So, I mean, does that mean I can break my own rule? You know what I mean? It's weird to think about as a whole, sort of, isn't it? Because it's just a collection of short films. You know what I mean? So it feels like they all should just be talked about in their own different ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of weird to
especially
talk about
when they're so tonally
as a
different.
total thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally disagree with you in that I think some were really bad and some were really good. You know, so it's sort of like
which one did you not like?
I'm all over the place. Did I not like?
Yeah.
I thought the last one sucked.
Which one was that?
Oh god, I can't remember. Ariakne, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it was a bit weird. Yeah, I didn't mind it though. That was one of the 6s rather than the 7s.
Sure, you're just gonna tell me like that one was the 6, that one was the 7. That was the 6. I thought the Twins was terrible.
Really?
Yeah, just not for me. For me.
Yeah, quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, that one went real hard anime, didn't it? Maybe that was it. Like that was just that was all like it made no sense, and the dialogue was just not for me at all. You know, but I really liked the Ninth Jedi, and I really liked the Jewel. They're sort of my 2 standouts.
I think there's quite a few stories that they set up that I'd love to see explored more in comics or something. Not that I read comics, but like I'd love to see stories expanded upon. You know, especially with the Elder. I think that one sets up a really amazing story. With this kind of rogue Sith, and I mean, like it's something we haven't heard of before about like the end of the Sith Order and shit like that. But like kind of seeing it come back like that, like I really like the style and the tone of it, and like the characters. I'd love to see more about the story.
I didn't like the Elder at all, and I just don't.
Really?
But everyone's saying it's top, and I'm just not. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it.
It felt very, very Akira Kurosawa. You know, it felt very. It was very. I don't know. I thought that one was. Yeah.
Sure. No, I can see that.
I also the What was the episode with the bunny girl? It was awesome, but I just wish she wasn't a fucking bunny. I mean, like, I don't know.
I didn't mind that. I thought that one was sort of in the top half for me. I quite
Yeah,
liked that.
no, I thought it was quite a strong episode, especially that ending duel. Was awesome, but why'd they have to make her a fucking rabbit? Man?
Yeah. It was it. Yeah, I agree. Like that is the question, isn't it? Why did they make her a rabbit? And that question applies even if you haven't seen it. It's just like why? Why? I'm sorry for that we bored you so much during that. I'm so sorry. You know, you look like you're just dead
Oh, it
inside.
was good. Was it entertaining? It was good.
Oh, okay.
I thought you hated Visions. So
I don't hate Visions. Oh, I didn't want to hate it. I was scared I was going to. That's my arc with it. Chuck it in the chat. But tell me about what you've been watching.
I keep thinking this film's name is Cohesion, but it's Coherence.
Oh,
Isn't the name of the film?
I saw you. I was so happy you watched that.
Oh yeah. I want to say that I feel like whenever I talk about film, I think is a truly great film. I never feel like I do it justice. Just because I'm weak, but no, this was really great. This was just pure. I don't know, just pure anxiety for me because like even before the concept is kind of like gone into just the atmosphere and the score and just the realistic sense of um paranoia, I guess, was really great. And when it goes on the concept, it's really fascinating and delves in the concept in with personal drama in really interesting ways, just like drama between the group is really great. But you're also learning about the concept and like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, what the hell, I'm not going to spoil, what's about because that's what the movie is about, figuring out what's about. But yeah, I really loved it, start to finish. It was just a complete thrill, I guess, and just really like a fantastic idea, really. Yeah.
What genre is this, and where did you watch it?
Um, it's labeled sci-fi, so I guess it's sci-fi. It was on SBS, but I rented it because I didn't want the ads,
You
Is
couldn't
it not
deal
on
with their
Netflix
UI.
anymore?
Isn't it? I don't think so. No, it's on SBS. Yeah.
Guys, I finally did it. I watched the movie that has been haunting me my entire life. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to see this movie for so long, and I finally watched it. That movie is a movie that I know is beloved here on the podcast, and that is In Time. Can you believe it? This is genuinely a movie. No shit. I remember vividly, for no reason at all, seeing the ads for this movie and just being like, "Wow, that's an interesting idea." And now, 10 years later, I watched this movie, and I liked it. I really did. It's got issues. It's weird. It's not great, but like I genuinely liked it overall. I think it's I don't know. I just get a kick out of the premise and the execution of the premise. I just really enjoy, like, for me, watching the entire thing, and every single time like the characters have to grab each other's wrists to exchange time, and every single time like one of the characters got like 40 seconds left or something on their obnoxiously bright arm. I just enjoyed it every time. I got a kick out of it, and it never let up. And it was something that even like an hour and a half into the movie, I was still engaged with the premise. I wasn't like, oh Jesus, we did this an hour ago. But maybe that's just a personal connection with it. But I don't know. I like the movie. There's some weird choices. I don't really like the ending, you know. But I was there for the ride. I was there for the weird sci-fi ness of it all, the very obvious commentary of it all. You know what I mean? I was there
What
for it. I was on board.
commentary? What are you talking about?
What do the time zones represent? Who will never? No one's ever been able to figure it out. No one's broken the code on that one. I was not expecting Killian Murphy to turn up in this movie. I had no idea. And when he was there, I'm like, dude, yes. And he's sporting a killer leather jacket. I'm all in. Give me more of that. It was great. It was great. Justin Timberlake was solid. You know, every time he shows up in a film, I'm like, you're just an actor, Like, who would have thought that you are famous for pop music,
Big Rog, DP.
Was he really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. The film looked great. The
Yeah.
film looked really, really good. So
There's a theory that he only took this job so he could practice for Skyfall as his like first action film.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
If that's true, oh my god. I mean, he did a great job. So whatever the reason, God bless you for doing it, Rog. I mean, do you guys like the film?
Liam likes it, but he acknowledges it's bad. I think we've had this discussion before. Right?
No.
Oh,
Okay. When I saw that you saw the film, I looked at the film and I saw that it had a low rate, and I had no idea why, because I've seen this film like 10 times. Like it used to be free on YouTube.
it's one of these ones.
Limitless and like the Basketball Diaries. I used to watch this a bunch of times. So
That's awesome.
like, yeah, I do like the film.
Because I remember I said I was looking through your low-rated films one time for the poll, and that was like a 1 star, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely nominating this, and you're like, no, it's a good movie, that's bad.
It's honestly probably a misclick. Like honestly, like I don't know.
The best way to sum up from like a quality perspective is that it's like the best 6 out of 10 I could ever give. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not great. Like, I can't say this movie's great. You know what I mean? But it's just, I just enjoyed it. I was just there for it. And not in like, oh, it's terrible, but I enjoyed it. It's not that. It's like, I genuinely think it's got really interesting elements and things that really work, and some things don't work. But that doesn't really, affect my enjoyment of the things that do. So. All right, as always, now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favourite anime, movie, or television program? Luke said, my favourite anime movie, well, I've only seen one by default. It is Your Name. I've also seen Go Sick and ReZero. I don't know if I said those right. And Death Note, which were also pretty good TV shows. I know Fitzy likes Death Note.
Yeah, Death Note's great.
The Willem Dafoe one, of course. Henry said Mob Psycho 100 is very boggers. As I said to him, I looked this up and it looked crazy. It looked wild. But I don't know if I'll be checking it out anytime soon. But I guess. Have you guys seen this?
No, but I added a restaurant themed like that in Japan.
Oh, really? Like genuinely themed from the show?
Oh no, sorry. I always get this one mixed up with two things. No, sorry, it was wrong. It was sorry. It was definitely something else. Yep.
But you went to a restaurant themed from an anime.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Charlie said Naruto.
It's the only wrong answer. I mean, like there is no wrong answer, but that's the wrong answer.
I was literally about to say, is that like the Fallout thing? Everyone disliked that. Is that what that just was? Andy said Doraemon is my favorite TV show. I haven't seen too many episodes, but I definitely have fun watching it. You guys might have heard of it, but I don't know if you guys have watched it. I watched it in English, Japanese, Vietnamese, Mandarin, and Cantonese. The theme song is cute too. Andy, are you saying you've watched it like fully in all? No, he's only seen it. Oh, I've only seen a few episodes. Okay. I was going to say, have you watched it all those times in all those languages? Like, have you seen it 5 times total? But no, I guess not. He's just happy bouncing around. He's happy just changing his settings every now and again, I guess.
You know the design, but I don't like. I haven't seen the show, but I know the character. Did you search it up?
Oh, okay. No, I did not.
No, you should. I'm pretty sure you know like the design of the character.
Is that like Japanese Blue's Clues or something? Is it a cat or a dog?
It's Doraemon.
I guess it's a cat. It's a what?
It's Doraemon.
It just is what it is. All right, Fitzy, what's your favorite anime thing?
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, what a surprise!
Big surprise! Big surprise there, guys. You know, I always forget there's my weeb background for my phone.
Oh, I didn't know you were that much of a weeb.
It It just blends into the background. Like I don't even notice it. No, but yeah, it's great. What do you want me to say?
Sure.
It's fun.
Are you excited for the Netflix show coming in a few months?
Probably not. I saw the trailer this week. It wasn't the best. It wasn't bad,
okay.
but
All right.
no point watching it really.
I'll
Unless
probably check out the show for the first time through that Netflix show, and then hate it, and then never watch the real one. Jaden, what about you?
Should I?
do it.
Do it.
The thing is, nah. Yeah, it's everything that Zach hates. That's the thing. It's so fucking good.
I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I know, but it's just funny. I just
Is there a thematic thing here that you're also holding a knife while you're discussing this right now?
Oh yeah. It's just like yeah, all right, yeah, sure. I'll say it. It's not my favorite, but I don't want to say any of the typical shit. But Prison School is a very fucking funny show. It is fan service all the way. There's shit everywhere, but it is genuinely hilarious, and the tension that they craft is so well done, and like the dialogue is quippy and interesting, and it's always engaging, and like there's so much secondhand embarrassment, and it is just self-indulgent of like sometimes it just goes a bit too far with what it wants to do, but it is just a great watch that I would recommend to almost no one. But if you like anime and you're looking for something and then you don't know, I'd recommend that. It's fucking hilarious, is all I can really say.
That's hilarious. Recommend to almost no one. I love that. Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone last. That was a mistake. But I mean, The Ninth Jedi. I mean, I guess recency bias. I don't know. I watched The Ninth Jedi. Sure, it was cool. I enjoyed that. It's probably I guess it is the most I've ever liked anime. But it feels like a bad answer. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? It's my answer. So yeah. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comments section. Send us a DM on Instagram or join our flourishing, enormous Discord community. The question we'll be asking you this week is, what is the worst Netflix original you've seen? And that can include, of course, movies and television shows. Plenty to choose from. We've all seen plenty. Don't lie, all right? If you're telling me you've never seen a Netflix original, you're lying. All right, you definitely have. All right, that's it for this week's episode of the show. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
The Guilty, which is on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. There you go.
It might be your answer next week.
It may be. Who knows? Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me, Jaden. Please don't hurt anyone with that knife.
Only myself here.
No. Fitzy, don't get some sleep. I was going to say don't get some sleep, but that doesn't make any sense. Get some sleep, you know what I mean? Log off here, put those damn curtains down and get some sleep, you know what I mean?
Blinds.
But your blinds, yeah, sorry. You probably want to have some of those dumplings though first, don't you?
Oh yeah. Some other reason to live. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone. We'll see you all next week. And goodbye.